It's recording. So again, anytime we record this, guys, I put them back in the Street Text Academy course, or you can just go to YouTube. Either way, they're always there. So I always put these recordings back in case there's something in here that you really love. And yeah, Johnny, coming in, bud?
I am.
Okay, he's gonna log in from his computer. So as I was saying yesterday, we had a great webinar with lab code agents, and we kind of went over why Jess initially got 5 listing appointments in our first week of doing Street Text. And I'm kind of looking, what I did is I looked at her ad, and she's never changed it, but there's going to be one thing I'm going to show you today that's going to really highlight why she's not changed it and why the algorithm of Facebook is consistent with it. And then I looked at her follow-up, and I started studying, how did she get those appointments booked so fast? So I looked at her initial email, and then I saw her follow-up, and then I saw her day 3, and I saw that she made some custom changes. Yeah, here comes Johnny. He wants to make a fun little announcement.
Hey guys, how you doing? So we've been working a lot on the product, and obviously we're trying to, we're working closely right now with Facebook to make sure we're kind of ahead of the game with the algorithm changes we're making there. So we've been doing a really neat experiment that we've been running in the back end, and so we're going to keep doing that. And what it's allowing us to do is to actually track who's converting in the areas that you want, and then communicating with Facebook that information. So as we're doing broader range pin drops, we're actually being able to locate and find the right people irregardless of how Facebook is showing that ad to the people. So it's like, you can say, okay, well, I want to have so many leads in these zip codes. We can actually take that information from the back end, put it back to Facebook. So we're kind of uncracking the Facebook's algorithm sort of from a different way. So we're really excited about that. The other thing, which is who here uses a tool like Calendly to help book appointments? It's a free tool. I know Mark says, oh, I got a few hands there. So what's really exciting is that with Calendly, if you send a text message 15 minutes before the appointment, the likelihood of that person remembering and showing up for that appointment is way higher. I don't know about you guys, but I hate going to a coffee meeting and just waiting there, and the guy's late and they just forget, and they just, Having a text message automatically getting sent to your appointments, just reminding them, can be something so simple, but it makes such a big difference. So what we're working on now is actually connecting Calendly directly to Street Text, so you can send automatic reminders through Julie to everybody that's booked an appointment on your behalf, and you don't have to do anything to have that reminder go out. And then they can just let you know, but you'll get that notification to your phone right away saying, hey, I got it, or I'm on it, or whatever else. So it just kind of ties into the flow of the same conversation. And what's really powerful about that is that if they need to talk to you or share something, it's still in the same conversation place. So you're not losing those replies. Otherwise, if they're just like replying to like a dead number, you'd never be able to capture any of the information back. Anyway, that's all. I want to share that real quick.
It's a good update.
John, quick question.
Yeah.
Is Calendly going to be through an API, or are you actually going to integrate it into your stuff?
So it's going to be through an API, or through our API, but you'll be able to integrate it through your account. So you'll just have to click it. Calendly gives you an API key. You just have to drop that in a Street Text, and then we'll do all the work and make it happen.
Okay, I asked because I sent Marcus something last week from Square. That's another option for booking as well. And I didn't know if you guys were going to use just Calendly only, or a couple of the other programs that work, because Square is pretty big as well for the booking and stuff like that.
Well, right now we're starting with Calendly just because we really like the flow, and it seems like it gets really good booking appointments. We used another tool in the past, and it just didn't have nearly the same. Like Calendly is just super simple, and it works automatically on mobile as well as on web. So it's a really great platform. But
he's got a little, Leon was sharing with something that I'll share the link that you sent me with the guys to show them that contrast.
That's all. See you guys.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, thanks for sharing your face there, Daryl. Everybody needs to see that beard of yours. All right, let's get on it. Let's help you guys convert some leads. Anybody that have some great stories they'd like to share? And it could be any stories. You don't have to actually have booked a listing appointment. It could be any story. It could be a reply. we had someone in our insider group yesterday. It was like, I got 40 leads in 3 hours. And like, that sounds a little bit of like a boast there. Everybody wishes they could get 40 leads in 3 hours. But she's also in Yukon, which is way north, right? So not a lot of people are using Facebook ads there. I had actually someone in Swift Current, Manitoba, that was getting a 10 or 9 cent cost per click. That translated into 11 cent addresses, 25 cent emails, and $1.50 phone numbers. Can you guys imagine? I mean, would we all love that type of lead flow? So that goes to show you that Facebook is such an untapped market. And the key on for all you guys is never be settling for average on your cost per leads. That settling for average just means you're not testing as much as you can. And I know we got a couple guys on here that are just frustrated with, like, I know Peter, you're on here and you're in Orange County and it's just a hard place out there. So with some places it's actually a lot harder no matter what you do. And unfortunately, it's still a matter of always testing. Okay, so let me get into sharing my screen here and kind of give you guys a good idea of what I'd like to be discussing a little bit today. And I'm gonna share this. Actually, let me share it again. I don't want to share my entire desktop with you. Okay, Google Chrome. Okay, can everybody see this? And let me just present this. Can you guys see it as a full screen? Yeah? Thumbs up? Okay, can't see all your faces. Okay, so the key with understanding this idea of, like, listen, we are now tapping into uncharted territories in terms of our funnels, especially that seller conversion template, is almost at 68% click to contact ratio. And so what I want to really give you an idea of, and a lot of people probably aren't aware of, is I got a slide here that I really want to help you guys figure this out. It's massive. When you look at our click to contact ratio and compare it to the industry average, well, the industry average sits at 2.9% in real estate. Okay, that's crazy. When you're sitting at 8.7%, you're beating 90% of your competitors' pages. Okay, ours right now is at 67.2% click to contact ratio on that seller conversion template, which means if you're not using that, you're missing the mark. Okay, you're really missing the mark. And I know some of you are like, well, I really want to go for the buyers. Like, I get it, but your sellers are buyers. Like, you forget about that. Your sellers are buyers. Like, most of these guys are so early into this process. Like, if you address, a lot of them aren't talking to you because you're not addressing where they're going to go, and they don't know where they go. So if you start understanding that that's part of how you need to communicate with them, that's maybe something you want to put into that drip campaign. That's maybe not in the initial email, maybe not in the day 3 email, but maybe in the day 10 email. Could be, I'll show you today a couple different variations of what I'm seeing working on the initial email, which I know a lot of you guys are already going in there and pulling in some video in there, but why not pull in the video on day 3, right? Why not pull in the video on day 10? Why not pull in a video for every step of the way? And why does it have to be us staying in that box? The drip email campaign that's currently in there should be customized and changed according to the message you want them to see. So that's my challenge to you. And just start small. Start with the day 3, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Now, you guys are all pumped on that 67.2%. Actually, as of yesterday, I think it was 67.5, and it's just trending up. So that really just means that, like, you need to find a good cost per click on that seller funnel, because if you find it, that just translates into submissions, right? That's just the key. And none of you should be sitting with anything under or over a $2 cost per click unless you're in like $1 million market, and still we can try to beat that. That's my challenge to you. And if you need some help on that, come to my daily live training. That's all I can say, or ask for a recording, because we touch on that all the time there. Okay. So now the influencer model, like, it's so important for you guys to continue put this in your brain, and you get it at this point, but the influencer model is where you really need to figure out how you are going to create influence and a genuine connection with that relationship. So, we go through, this is a typical ads that you're running, but we go through this idea of what do you want them to see? Well, just know now that John was talking about that pixel information, we're going to go find more of the like-minded people that you're looking for. It's just as important to know that if you start your ad on the wrong way, it's going to be finding more of the wrong people that you're looking for. I actually found that it's actually sometimes even the first 15 minutes Facebook's looking for traction, which is why I always talk about the first $5 is like, if you haven't figured it out within the first $5 to $10 of your ad spend, a good cost per click and a good cost per lead, then most likely it's never going to work. So don't go be wasting more money on that ad. Okay. That's just my challenge to you. And if you need more help on that, come to the live training or watch one of the last ones. I think I can send you a link. Just Facebook message me after this meeting. So here's the kind of idea, guys. I mean, someone opts in, and let's just talk about the seller funnel. And if the address is submitted, you kind of have this idea of what I should be sending off. Well, if they opt in, you could definitely drop off something or send a postcard at the very minimum. And then the second opt-in, there's always a second opt-in, that the email, you quickly want to address that you're on it. And then send within those 3 days, you want to send a range of values. And I'm going to show you Jess's email script here that got her that 5 listing appointments as she did that. And then you're going to follow up right after and ask them if they got it. Does that make sense? Because if you do that, that's a key. It's like, and it has to be with video. You got to ask them if they got it. Because if you don't, you're missing the point here. That's the main thing on there. And we're going to talk about shortly what that looks like. But it's something along the lines of you submit your information for the home valuation on Facebook regarding your property at fill in the blank. I did the research on the homes that recently sold in your neighborhood, and without looking, I can do my best online guess. Keep it a wide range, but I know I can do better than this. Let's chat, right? It's like something along that line. I'm going to give you the actual one. It's in the course as well. Okay. But just remember, this is the key. And then I'll stop here and show you what Jess is sending. No matter what, people will not follow you unless if they don't trust you. So that's the key concept here is understanding if you don't put a face to your name and especially a personality to your name, what makes you think they'll ever start a conversation with you? So it's so key on figuring out how to do that authentic connection with them, both on the automation side, but then as a personal follow-up. And don't just trust your automation either. Always think about a personal follow-up. So let me share with you, I'm going to share with you Jess's kind of like autoresponders. This is a cool kind of a way of seeing what she's doing right now. So if I go into, okay, number one, let's go into her ad because it's super boring. Is this if someone wanted to buy your Lapine home, would you sell it, find its value in the current market? Like, it's not the satellite one, it's not the terrain one, it's the generic old map one, and it's like I would have zoomed in a little bit more, but she hasn't changed a step. But you know what I love about it is the reason why I think it's continuing to produce good results is because she's going in there every day, and Facebook is more than ever telling us that they want you to make sure you're tracking the comments on that ad. So I would recommend that every day you go to view your ad, if you're not getting those notifications, and track the comments and ask questions. Ask questions. So if someone responds on there, like, oh, great, John, if he's like, oh, I would never sell, I'm like, oh, great, John, I get it. I love that place. Have you done any updates or renovations to your home since you've lived there? Like, because for every question you ask, there's another comment, and that could ask and create another comment. And Facebook loves comments. So if you continue to build comments on here and you see what Jess has done here, there's 72 comments and 5 shares later. Do you guys see what I'm talking about there?
Yeah. So I just want to chime in a little bit on this. Facebook, it's not just the comments, it's favoring conversations. So if you can get conversations actually started in here, Facebook sees that. And then that gets fed out there a lot more. And even things like, don't just like something. If you go a step further and do either the heart or the wow, Facebook favors those as well more than just likes, because likes are just easy. It's the first one you can do. So Facebook is moving more to this. They want people to actually have conversations within their platform as opposed to just really quickly firing things off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the key. It's always connections. For connection, that's the most important piece of that. Now, let me show you something. Like, here's her emails, right? And it's the after submission quick questions. She's got a little check mark there. Received your request. Like, she's already gone in there and put little emojis in, which I love. And now I know that a big part of this too is that she's gone in there and edited both of these. And so if you look at this, she's got now a video in there. And if you look at, and I'm going to share with you what the video is, and she gave me permission today to share it. She can't be here. But then if you look at her day 3, she also has an email with a video in it. So you know what that's cool about that is if you define what your process is going to be in that 72 hours, the video makes complete sense, but you got to define what that process is going to be, and you got to be consistent with it. You can't just be a one-off for people. Define what your process is going to be. Okay. Now let me show you one more thing, because everybody wants to know, you know, we talked about it many times at this point, almost like sickly talked about it till you're blue in the face in terms of Donna Swansea. But if I talk about Donna, we made fun of it in the Lab Coat Agents yesterday.
Hey there, it's Donna Swansea with Century 21 Judge 5, and I just wanted to let you know that I got your request for your home value, and I'm working on that now. If there's anything that you think I need to know specifically about your home that may increase the value, please just respond to this email and let me know. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.
So we all need to get a lamp and put it in our closet and do this video. I'm just joking. So guys, do you guys, for 1 second, I'm just to stop the share for a second. Do you guys see what she's doing there? It's just addressing that she's going to send the home value. Now, what the most important piece was I'm about to share with you, and I think this is key that I'm actually seeing on her. She's done this for the last 2.5 years. She's sent a video intro. She gets them a home value. She uses a combination of RPR and MLS. And some of you have the Donna Swansea course, right? How many of you have gone through the Donna Swansea course? We got a couple on here? Okay, yeah. So here's one thing. I don't know if she said that in the course. One thing I know what she does is she gets them the home value and then she waits 20 minutes and sends them the video. Are you guys following me with that? So there's actually 2 emails being sent. It's the actual home value email that she addresses and gets them the home value, and the follow-up video. So let me show you what I mean by that real quickly. So that was her initial one. And by the way, this is not like what they would see. They would see the initial email. She's got her email signature in there. Like, it's a really nice email signature, by the way. You know, Judge Fight, Fort Worth, and it has like home of the Dallas Cowboys on there and everything. I really like it. Now here's the follow-up. Now, if you look a little bit, I think it's right around here in this portion I want to kind of look at. Here's the, you know, the email she sends out. Hi, I've researched the properties that actor are sold in your neighborhood over the last 90 days. Depending on the condition of your home, it would likely sell between X and X, or likely higher based on upgrades and updates. You have a home in a hot market with nothing for sale like yours right now, and it could likely end up with multiple offers over list price. Since prices in that area are so diverse, I would love to come take a look so I can give you a more accurate value of what I could sell your home for. If you let me know of a good day and time, I'd be happy to stop by, even if you aren't ready to sell. Simply having that information is always helpful. Okay, that email is sent out. By the way, you know what else is sent out? That same type of email or information in the mail with the postage stamp. You see what she's doing there? She's giving them the email copy and she's giving them the hard copy in the mail. Okay, what does she do 20 minutes later? So 20 minutes later, she does this.
A quick look at the video. Hi there, this is Donna Swansea with Century 21 Judge 5. Checking in to make sure that you received your home value and to let you know if you have any questions. I'm always here to help. Have a great day. Bye.
You guys get it? Is it making sense to you? That's value. That's addressing what they requested. That's why she's got 150 deals. That's why she's spending $60 on Facebook every day now, because she's defined that her process is going to be the initial email. She's going to pull up an RPR and MLS and create her own report. She's going to send them the home value, and she's going to follow up 20 minutes later. And if you looked in the insider group, she's got every quarter, she downloads an entire email database, and she does a check-in and sends that out to everybody and asks them if they like to update the home value. Any questions? I just dropped the mic. I'm just joking. Okay, so.
Sorry, yeah. Mark, what were you saying quarterly? What is it that she does quarterly? Just so I can make sure I understand that.
Yeah, so, okay, let me, good question. So in your insider group, let me see if I can find it. If you go to the announcements, which I always share with you, I'm like, guys, go to your announcements. There's some good stuff in there. Okay, so if you go down to there's one on Donna, I remember I pulled in here. She basically says, every 3 months, I download the email addresses, all of the leads from the previous quarter, and send the email below. So not just like, so every 3 months, and the leads from the previous quarter, and she sends the email below. Just did it again today, and I got a call within 10 seconds of hitting the send, along with a lot of responses saying yes. And of course, she gets her fair share of leave me alone. But this is the key. Look at her picture there. Again, you don't do this without putting the signature in there if you're going to do it. Like, this has got, at the base of every business transaction, you'll find people. Like, there's got to be something in there that connects with them. Don't do some generic email that's HTML based. I would probably even consider throwing some video in there. But she says, over time, the market fluctuates and your home value has likely changed. Would you like me to send you an updated home value? Right? And of course, there's her cell phone number as well. There's her personal Facebook, website, reviews, right? Get it? It's not like, it's not a rocket science here, guys. It's developing what your process is going to be and stay consistent to that process. Okay, now that's Donna, and a lot of you have Donna course. If you haven't really, like, if you want more information on that, then I would just say get into Donna's course and kind of go along the way. That'll be your best one there. Now here's another one that I really like is, if you look again when we were talking about Jess. Well, she's going to talk about this next week. She'll be on here, but I wanted you to kind of see what I like about what she's doing here. And so she's self-admittedly, we talked about it and joked around today, said it's a little bit cheesy, but it's good. I mean, cheesy, if it's authentic, it's always great. So if you look at her initial email, she's basically coming in here and saying, as you know, the market's always changing. Anything you can tell me about your home would help give you a more accurate assessment to reflect the current value. She's got this video I'm about to play. What do you love most about your home? Hey, how long have you lived there? Have you done any renovations or updates recently? And what would you consider the best feature of your home? Right? I like it. Good questions. It's also good questions. It's only good questions if you put a video in there. It's not good questions if you don't put a video. If you try to ask that questions as a generic autoresponder, maybe you get some replies, maybe you don't. Now, I mean, I'm going to work with her on getting her a better email signature because I think that needs to be updated with a little picture of her. But here's the first email that goes out. Here's the autoresponder. I'll play it for you.
Hi, Jessica McIntyre here with Exit Realty, and I just wanted to personally thank you. I did receive your request from Facebook for a free home valuation, and I wanted to let you know that I'm on it. If there's something, though, that is special or different or spectacular about your home or your property that you think I should know about, please do me a favor and take a moment and respond to this email and let me know. I will get that home valuation out to you shortly, and I look forward to working with you in the future and getting to know you. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
I mean, come on. Good stuff, right? I would connect with her. Would you guys? I mean, that sounds pretty authentic, doesn't it? It's genuine. Okay. So does everybody have a video embedded in their autoresponder? Who's got it right now? Okay. Shouldn't we all be sharing that in the insider group and getting everybody's like constructive feedback on it? I think the key is if we got to be brutally honest with one another and continue to ask each other, hey, like you should tell everybody, would you respond to that? And if it doesn't feel authentic and it feels scripted, and you know someone's telling you that, like feel free to tell and discuss it. We need to make sure it doesn't feel scripted, because the moment you think or someone else thinks it's scripted is probably what your leads are thinking too. So it's got to feel very natural. And trust me, just keep on working on it. You'll get that natural. You just got to pretend like you're at their door. So let me share now what she's doing after she gets the home value and putting in her day 3, because I think this will be a good connection for you guys too. I know most of you don't have a day 3 email. Okay. The day 3 is the 72-hour one later. Here's what she's doing. Okay.
Hi, Jessica McIntyre here again with Exit Realty, and I just wanted to personally make sure that you did receive that free home valuation that I emailed out to you. If you didn't, do me a favor, please, and check your spam or your trash folders. Sometimes my emails like to hide there first. Also, I just wanted to see if you had any questions about what I sent you or the numbers that I came up with and how I came up with them. Remember, I'm just here to help, so feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions, and I will help you out the best that I can. Thank you, and have a lovely day.
Awesome. Awesome. So that would be the day 3. Okay. And the day 3 is she basically just changed it to say home evaluation information. I hope you received my home valuation like we saw. If you have any questions or anything else you need to know about your house, I'll be able to provide you with a more accurate estimate. Don't hesitate to contact me. I will be happy to help with that video. Right? Okay, let's discuss this. Open up your mic, unmute yourself, and tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want help with. Britt, go ahead. I know you want to talk.
So I sent out like 80 bombs yesterday, but I embedded in my first seller response, the first email that goes out, I embedded a video. And this is at about 4 o'clock yesterday, and it was only on for a few hours. But I embedded the wrong video because it cut me off halfway. My cousin messaged me. She's like, Britt, I loved your video, but you got cut off. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I took it out. So I'm going to do a new one today to send out. But I was getting really comfortable with the videos. Like I just kind of blasted them out. But I shut off Julie. Because my last experience a couple weeks ago, Julie was crazy. She was sending like boom, 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 boom. And I felt like I lost all of those leads, even though I didn't. They're still there. But so I really want to kind of, take the course, the blueprint course, and really work on these autoresponders because I don't know. I'm kind of overwhelmed because I don't know how to respond to everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're fortunate in the situation where I think you got like a 10-cent cost per click or something crazy like that. Yeah. So like most people, number one, you don't need to be spending that much money on Facebook. Really, I would focus on quality of relationships and quantity of volume coming in until you define your process. So I would lower your ad budget down while you're defining that. That's the way I would do it. Number 2, if you were to play the volume game, then simply I would say something along the lines in your autoresponder and perhaps day 3 that would create a call to action into your calendar. Because you can somehow express for some people that have, and there's very few of them that have an issue like yours. I was just saying there's someone in Swift Current, Manitoba that was experiencing that lead volume like you, about a 25-cent email. So for every $1 you spend, you're getting 4 emails. If you had that scenario, you could create a video that basically said, hey, here's why I don't do a generic guesstimate of the house. Every house is unique. Every house has a story. Every house has a unique marketing feature. Go ahead and click in my calendar, either a 5-minute call or give them a separate link, or we could do a 15-minute complimentary walkthrough of your home where I come on over, and do that type of thing, and even show you how to get your home market ready if you were ever to sell in the future, right? I think it's the key is, you guys, we don't have to do what Donna does. We don't have to do what Jess does. These are just, they've defined what the process is and stayed consistent with it, which has created results. But I think some of you haven't found your own process. Doesn't have to always be the same thing. I think you could create a scenario if you're having a lot of lead volume. And then I don't know if there's any third-party systems out there. I think like Cloud CMA in the States for Canada, where you can say, hey, if you want a generic guesstimate, you click on this link and get it. But if you'd actually like a thorough walkthrough where I can get into precise, accurate assessment of your home and actually even give you some ways of improving the value, here's how you can book with me, right? But the key is just whatever you do, it's got to be genuine, it's got to be authentic, and it's got to be face-to-face, and it's got to be scalable, right? And if you're feeling overwhelmed, dial down the budget and focus on what that looks like for you, because at some point you can pick up your budget once you've defined your process. Does that help out at all? I know it. I mean, it's kind of filling it. Anybody else have to add to that based on their own experience? I'm looking for guys for some participation. Not just sitting here and waiting for me to speak.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Keisha.
I do agree with what you're saying. I think that you have to refine your process, and that's coming from somebody who probably has done it all wrong. But it's better to refine the process and kind of slow down the leads. Because to be honest, if you have so many leads that you're not able to service them, then it's a waste of time.
I agree. Here's some free 99 tools that Leon likes to talk about. You guys got phone numbers, okay? Before you send anything via text, go back to Julie, see what's been discussed and see what's been sent. And I know you've said, okay, Julie overwhelmed, but now Julie only sends a matter of 5 texts and then she stops, and Julie automatically stops if they respond. So just remember that, okay? Once they respond, Julie automatically stops. But you guys want to also take note is if you don't care or like what Julie is sending, you can change and edit that too, right? You can turn off specific sequences. Let's say you don't want her to send the one 11 minutes later, but only want her to send the first one. Like Donna Swansea, for example, only wants them to get the first text from Julie, and then she turns off all the other one. So it all depends on your own workflow and how you're going to engage and use Julie. Because if you're using Julie the way you should be using Julie, you might be doing something like this, right? Where if they respond and tell Julie that it's been painted but nothing else major, then you continue the conversation as if you were Julie and try to say, hey, are you interested in a quick assessment based on the internet's best value? Would you like to schedule a 20-minute walkthrough with Keisha this week? Keisha, we took this from you actually, remember? So this is your own follow-up using Julie, right? So, but that worked for you, but that doesn't mean there's not another one that would work better. It's just a matter of what do you think would create a connection the way you'd want to. And Julie's always even good, because if they say no, for example, they're like, no, you don't stop there and be like, okay, this lead's not interested. You go, oh, no worries. Oftentimes we find that for people that are not interested, sometimes they just have no idea where they're going to want to go if they were to sell. Could I get you on a list of properties that you might be interested in, right? Like it's kind of making sure you know that it's all about overcoming objections. It's being relentless in your pursuit of the relationship. And so adding them back onto the free 99 tool, I think, a lot of you are not taking advantage of just simply pulling out your phone and sending a video text if you have a phone number, right? Because that immediately gives you a face-to-face. Keep it under 30 seconds and keep it genuine, keep it authentic, keep it focused on what you're looking to accomplish, and maybe ask a quick question so you can get a response. Like, hey, before I send over this home value, is there anything particularly about your home that I should know about that would affect its value that you've been, something like that. But always go back and visit that lead first before you send it and see what the information has already been provided in there, of course, because you could always use that as a conversation starter. Hey, you were telling me, I know you were saying that you had an updated kitchen, and can you give me some more specifics on what you did with that kitchen? You guys feeling me on that?
Yeah. So Marcus, I know that I'm probably alone in this because I just started yesterday. Where do you find that the Julie conversations or the emails have been sent, like, that information in the system?
Good call. So number one, you got to make sure that you're activated your SMS feature. So if I go into like you'd have a little bit different looking account, Anthony, but it would be on the top left-hand side where these conversations are. And then anybody that lights up in yellow has responded, right?
Thank you. That's perfect. I'll make sure that's set up today.
And you know, that like, this is where you get some really good stuff. Like you get, when someone talks 70s model trailer, she's got a 70 model trailer on a half acre. Like, well, that's going to be an interesting conversation. But yeah, I mean, hey, real estate is real estate, right?
Hey, Marcus, sorry to interrupt. That first one on that text where it says unsubscribe, is that where they've unsubscribed from that text conversation? I noticed that on some of mine I was just looking at yesterday.
On
So the first text that goes out at the end of it says unsubscribe. Is that them unsubscribing, or is that just
that's them saying I don't want a message?
Right. So they're unsubscribed from that that conversation already, right, with Julie?
No, that's an email. Oh, so I see what you're saying. So in that section, I'll share everybody.
I mean, they have a conversation on day 3, but I thought that they were unsubscribed over there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about here. Like up here, the green is always the emails that are being sent, and so it's not like all you need to do is go back to that. It's not saying unsubscribe. It's giving them the option to unsubscribe in their like. But this has nothing to do with them unsubscribing. They haven't unsubscribed. This just shows you what the email would have said. And again, it's your job to go in here and change up those emails, right? Like, I think the key is if we know we got up to 9 months here, number one, go to your automations and look at the automations, edit the automations, and start thinking about, okay, I know for sure I want to get them the initial email and the day 3 email if I'm doing something like Jess. And actually, guys, you might not be aware of this, but if you literally click on it from within here, you can go in here and change it from within on this side. Now, I would look at then because I kind of want to look and think of the bigger picture. I know what I want to do in the next 72 hours for all those leads come in. So I want to define that process. And then what would I say on day 10? Maybe day 10 is not, how to get the most value for your home. Maybe day 10 is, hey, can we connect on Facebook? And you say, hey, are we Facebook friends yet? And you have a little video in there, right? Or, hey, can I get you on a list of homes you might be interested in if you're ever considering selling in the future, right? It's the idea of kind of taking this and making it your own. Does that make sense? Because I know you guys, some of you have your own like CRMs and you're going to use your own CRM, so I get it. But if for some of you that aren't, or you want to use this one in conjunction, that's a good idea. And then who at this point, anybody trying to friend request everybody, drop them into a list and send a video message as well? Couple. Just saying, if the average time spent on Facebook every single day is almost an hour, there's your missed opportunity. Just saying.
I've had in the last 2 weeks, a few people after a couple weeks go in and accept a friend request. I'm having a hard time, not with all of them, but when people don't actually put the city that they live in on their profile, and you go to people and then you try to narrow it down to their city and you can't find them, is a little frustrating, but I guess
well,
it's part of it.
You go to the address and look at the zip code and then just type that in on when you go to the search bar and the advanced search section. Go back and reference the address and where it's from. It's not 100% accurate, but it's just something worthy of trying, right? You're not going to find
zip code versus the city itself. Just throwing the zip code into the places. Will it pick it up?
Meaning, if I were you, what I'd do is go to that zip code from the address that you acquired on that lead, and say, okay, this is in blank area, and then go. And if you can pull that tax record, go and find that person's name. Go to number one, search the name and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be some neighboring areas that they call themselves they live in, or a broader, wider area. And then try to narrow it down as much as possible. Make an educated guess. I mean, sometimes you just got to go out there and throw it out.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I just try to. I start with the city that I'm running the ad in. If I don't find it, then I try to go to a little broader city and see if I can find that. And you don't know if it's the husband or the wife or whoever the person is. On the tax rolls, there's a couple names listed. So trying to run them both, finding one or the other. I mean, sometimes from the email name itself, you can tell if it's him or her, and then you can kind of find that person. But there's a lot of times where you can't locate them on Facebook, and they're on Facebook because they obviously found the ad on Facebook. So why can't you find them? But it's not everybody fills out that about section maybe, or that info on there that, a lot of people are more private, I guess, or some of them are.
Or they use a different name than what their name is.
Yeah, that's true too. I think one of the things that I feel like might be the next missing piece of your autoresponders is to let them know in your autoresponders, always, number one, trying to get them to connect with you on Facebook. So create some call to action. Say, hey, if you Facebook me, something. But also make them, let them know, maybe in the autoresponder, even the day 3, hey, I'm gonna try to send you a message. Check your message request folder.
Right. Or hey, I tried to find you on Facebook so we could connect, but I couldn't find you. So
yeah,
here's my link.
Do me a favor. Send me a quick message here, and I'd be happy to give you this over Messenger. If I think there's a missing art that we might try to figure out, if we can get someone to come back to Messenger, then it's golden. Because why I love Messenger so much in terms of trying to figure out, I think I've told you guys this before, but if you look at my friends list, I don't use personally a CRM. I use Facebook. And I can see who's expired in May, who expired in July, who's a hot trial right now, who said they're going to sign up in September, who my referrals are, who Logan's clients are, who Troy's clients are, who's the upcoming sales. I know this, who's my mortgage guys, who, it's no different than how you would work your own Facebook. And you guys should do this because there's no better way, especially for you guys in your repeat and referral business. All of those clients you've done business with are most likely your Facebook friends now anyways, right? Are they not? Are they your Facebook friends? They should be, right? They should be. And if they're not, go get them to be, because this right here now lets you become an influencer of that particular list and stay top of mind and create content relevant to making sure your clients are always thinking about you, to refer people to you, to talk about what's happening in the market, because you will always want to stay top of mind with them. And if they're spending an hour a day on Facebook, then you should be spending the hour with you in their newsfeed, right? And it's a free way to kind of come in here and like stuff, because it's that free dopamine hit every time. So if you think of how important this is for your personal network, think about how important this will be as you build that lead list of home sellers, how you become an influencer. Because there's like you said, there's going to be some of them that accept your friend request. They'll now get that post you share every day. Every time they'll see what's going on in your life, and you can like stuff. Better yet, you can see when they're home. Right? This is the perfect time to know when to try to check in on with them and ask a question. And you can start sending the mustache man. I love Facebook Messenger and being able just to have fun with it. I think we overthink sometimes things, and we gotta bring it back to how do we become relatable? How do we become somebody they can you gotta think of that model as it's the know, like, and then trust. Get them to like you. Let them see that you have a family. Let them see that you have life, that you have interest outside of real estate. You got to give them that chance. And so video, Facebook, video text, video messenger, video email, obviously present value, always get them value in their hands, but always try to get them to connect with you in a genuine way. And I think you'll find you'll get deals. That's my challenge to you. I think it's more of it's a people first type of approach with top of funnel leads. And if you want, Donna doesn't do it, but she's consistent with video in the beginning. She's consistent with getting value in their hands. And then she's consistent with a 20-minute later follow-up with video. So, and she sends something of value in the box too. So they're going to get that same information in their inbox, or in their mailbox. Right? Any questions on that, guys? Now, I mean, I think you guys know what you're supposed to be doing. Now it's just a matter of doing it. Anybody has any wins they want to share? Anybody want to open up, talk about it?
Now I'll give the laugh for the day. You know, I automate stuff, and based on where Julie drops off for the autoresponder part of it, I had told you last week I was building out my text messages for my CRM specifically for street text. And I had went in and set up for street text to source so that when it went to my CRM, in theory, it's supposed to just push it over and send out text. And the follow-up text, one of them I had built was saying about the spam filters. So I was laughing because it was Sunday at 8:55 at night. It went across and things didn't quite work as I thought. So all of a sudden I had like 80 something leads blasting out with stuff from my CRM, but it wasn't the street text message. So I'm in there like shutting this thing off. But going through there, you know, one of the biggest things everybody talks about is phone numbers. The last week, I'm trying to think what his name was. He turned around and said True People Search. And I've been using several other ones, but if you're not using True People Search, and I don't know if that'll work in Canada, but if you're not using True People Search, it will blow you away how much information that pulls up, including cell phone numbers and stuff like that. So one of the follow-ups, you know, where you've got leads, we've paid for them. So to go in there, one of the best texts you can send out is just flat out, you know, hey, is this, you know, William? And if you get the response and they say, yes, it is, then oh, okay, hey, I'm leads into the conversation to get you going and verifies the number. But I'd highly recommend trying that to go ahead and help get phone numbers for the ones that are coming across, not leaving good numbers or not leaving, they might be leaving a landline, but the thing even displays cell phone numbers. So it's really pretty accurate. I went through there the other day, updating my stuff Sunday, and I probably picked up like 8 or 9 numbers that I didn't have before. So it's
True People Search. Is that TRUE People Search?
.com, yes.
TruePeopleSearch.com, everybody.
Yeah, that was last week. We were on the meeting last week. We were given that one to use. Someone asked, and I went there and I'm like, that's better than anything I've ever seen.
That's perfect for you, Peter. I know you're on here. Doesn't work in Canada. Well, we got to find something else. Let's get clever in Canada. Sean Carson, have you found anything like that? You'd be the guy that kind of figures this out.
Hey, Leon, is True People Search free? I mean, I used Truth Finder.
If I gave it to you, believe me, free 99.
We love free 99 tools.
I need to quit Truth Finder. I mean, they do give good information though, so.
Yeah, you know,
but what you'll find, you know, it's always apologetic when everyone say we're wrong, but I always say blame the person that's not there. So when you're using the spam filter as a reason, like even in the message going out, I sent something out, please check your spam filters, da 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 da. I had so much other stuff going on. I honestly was neglecting some of the stuff, and I figured, okay, let me get it loaded. I'll come back to it. So now that I'm finally getting back to the things, I'm even sitting down finally looking at the Academy for the last one that you guys put out, Marcus, that you and Logan did, and starting to get through that. But I guarantee you, as far as going in there to follow up, one thing to remember is don't be shy. The people don't just look at us. They're, you know, when they're looking on your website, believe me, if you don't hear them 5 minutes on realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, and your other website out there too. So when you come in there, I don't get specific about how far back it was. I just say, hey, I sent you something out, this and that, da, 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 just to get them to go look. Because if they go look to go find you, they're going to find you. And if they don't and they want it, then they'll respond and say, oh, no, I didn't get it. No worries. I'll get it right back out to you while I got you on the phone. And then you lead in with any recent updates, upgrade 3 models, or whatever your line is. But you've got them on with you. You're engaging now. So at that point, you run with it.
You got to run with what you have. I think and some of you guys in Canada don't have that information available to you. You know what there is? There is always the old-fashioned door knock. There was a day and time where we used to do things like that, right? It might be a little scary, but I mean, what do you got to lose? A no? Right? Well, you have everything to gain. All you're looking to do is create a genuine opportunity. And so if you're coming in something in hand, something you want to give them, something just with a big smile and say, hey, I don't know if this was you, but I got a submission from Facebook looking for a home buyer, and I wasn't able to get your contact information. So I wanted to show up and introduce myself and simply just hand this to you in person.
The other thing, I'm not sure, like I say, for how title and escrow works up in Canada. One of the other things that people forget, in Washington State, the Department of Financial Institute says they can no longer give us stuff free; they have to charge us for it. But I say if it's a $10 an hour job or less, get someone else to do it. With that said, though, you can actually, what I do sometimes is I can compile a list. If I have an area I want, I can have title and escrow, look up the information on the person to tell me who's at that address. And now reason I do that, I just had them send me a list yesterday, and it was hilarious because I get owner and non-occupied. If it's a non-occupied owner, now that's where I'm definitely sending out a letter or something to the person, finding out if they're looking to sell their home, because they might have left where I'm at. It's a big military presence. They might have got orders to leave here and didn't have enough equity in the house yet and been renting it and just haven't got around to selling it, because as long as the rent was paid, it hasn't been a bother. But if the person is in that house, I turn around and sit there and start hitting them with why rent when you should own, and show them how much that house payment would cost versus what the probable rent is for the area. And in a couple of deals, I've actually just basically sat down, and the person living in it wanted to buy the house, had my lender pre-qual, and I just did a deal, gave them guys a heck of a deal on a commission because I had no real work involved. But you can generate business from what you have.
It's great. Always gold nuggets over there. How about some of you? There's Sherry on here with video. We got Randon, Ryan, Tammy. Anybody else? We have a few minutes here. Feel free to share what's on your mind. What do you need help with? This is a mastermind. It's really here for you guys to participate and engage each other. Got Tracy on here, Rick, Danny, Denise.
I got a question about the Facebook algorithms after they're updated. Is the dropping the pin of the home address? I didn't get any good responses when I did it like a week ago, and it was running and nothing came in. Is that something that has changed? Is the dropping the pin still working good? Because I'm really trying to farm like my neighborhood and the neighborhoods next to where I live, and I haven't had any good response.
So you're doing like a drop the pin, or are you doing like a county? Or are you doing like an area?
What specific address? Like I'm using like my home address and then just trying to drop that pin there, and then.
And then what are you calling the ad?
What am I calling the ad? Oh, yeah. Like it's the one that gets the most conversion on that seller.
Seller conversion. So, but is it like if someone were to buy what's the fill in the blank home? What's the fill in the blank for that? Drop the pin.
Davie, like the city.
Okay, so here's what you do. You split test that overnight. If someone were to buy your Davie home, you drop that pin on your address, and you do that in a satellite. You do that with a map image, and you run them head to head, dropping the pin, as well as you do a separate test the same way with Davie. Instead of dropping the pin, just typing in Davie as you're targeting, and you do that, and you do 4 tests. You do, because I know that you don't need to do a terrain, but you do a map, a satellite with Davie as you're targeting, and then a map and a satellite with drop the pin. And drop the pin. Let those all run at $9 a day against each other overnight. You probably only spent 30 or 40% of that $9 when you wake up. Let the best man win.
Yeah, because it still says sometimes it's we're still gathering information. Check back with us. So are you shutting it off before they've actually given you the little meter?
I don't need to wait for the meter. I think wait for the meter. I think once you start figuring out that there's some things you're looking for in the beginning, you don't have to wait for the meter. The meter is just there once 500 people reached. But if you start seeing traction happen, or let's say the opposite end, you spent $5 and you don't have a single click, turn that off.
Yeah, I've seen less traction in the last like 3 weeks or 4 weeks in some of the ads I've been running. I've been running one consistent, but the cost per click is up to like $2.54. I mean, the average home is like 600 to whatever 1 point something.
So at that point, I run 2 or 3 different tests in that same area that's got the 254 click right there to see if I can beat that overnight with 3 or 4 different ads that are variations of that, or potentially even the same one, Adam. Potentially even
just shutting that one off and then just redoing it again, because that ad's been running for a month and a half straight.
Yes.
So.
Because remember, you have up to 72 hours to turn off an ad before it loses relevancy and performance standards. So you could always turn the ad back on if you don't find that another ad is producing results.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a ton of leads that were coming in this one other area. I'm not having any listing appointments, but I've had some. Most of the people are just curious, but sending them out the valuation and following up and doing all the right things. Just haven't been able to get that listing appointment yet.
Yeah, so you're just curious people. You just continue to stay top of mind and drop them in that list on Facebook when you can. Send them something in the mail and do those check-ins. Right?
Yeah, I had one cool when I sent a card the other day, and actually somebody called me like, "Hey, why did you send me this thing?" My wife got it, and I just explained like, "Hey, I got some submission. It was an address only. So I just wanted to, send you a little card in the mail and see if this was you." Oh no, well, we're building a house on that piece of land because it showed up as a land. I'm building a custom home. Oh, great, no problem. Hey, could you let me know if there's any other pieces of land that are agricultural while I got you on the phone? Yeah, absolutely. So I went and I actually found a couple for him. Nothing's produced, but at least I got a reaction out of that handwritten card. As sloppy as my handwriting is too, which has been like a real mission, trying to keep putting enough information, that little tiny thank you card, and not, overwhelming them. But I did get a response out of it. So I know it does work.
Love it. Love it.
Hasn't led to any, but I know this is a game of numbers and patience, so I'm not frustrated, but I'd like to be able to get a listing, cash out, and then be able to pay for all this, on the commission dime already.
I think so. And here's another link that you should consider trying is connect with me on Facebook, and it directly links to your Facebook Messenger.
Right. Well, I mean, at the bottom of my email, which I have to update my email signature better with a picture and that, but it has, and I even use like a little finger emoticon, like, "Hey, connect with me down below" for my, my Facebook profile link.
Ooh, I have a thought process. No one's tried this yet. What if you said connect with me, or click here or something here to get your home value on Facebook, and it goes right to your Facebook Messenger?
Right.
That's a thought. So that forces them to go to your Facebook Messenger to get the home value.
Yeah.
Someone want to try that? Go do it. Do it right now. Do it for the next 48 hours and see if you get anybody who goes to Facebook Messenger and say, "Hey, can I get my home value?" I think there's an opportunity here that we're missing, and I want to see somebody figure out how to tap back into Facebook Messenger, because that's where we want it to go back to, because that's where we create the management system within Facebook.
Hey, one more thing. When you look at BombBomb, once you have it set up with the extension, which I do, and I've had it running, and you see somebody who has looked at it 35 times, is that the same email that they're looking at, like the home evaluation, or is it a culmination of all the emails you've sent to them, or how does that?
It's that they're visiting, or maybe they keep their computer open, or they're going back to it. Yeah, that's the person that's being like coming back to that email somehow.
It trips me out that somebody's looking at this email 35 times. I'm just curious, and
I'm showing up at that home at that point.
Yeah, and we got a couple of those that have been like revisiting.
You're just curious, and they're like, they're more than curious.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Good stuff today. So, everybody message me if you have any particular questions about this. It'll be in the course. And always, please feel free. If there's something that we're missing on, or you want more clarity on, you need some help on, or you want us to build in that course, let us know as well. But start thinking about how to get outside that box. Start thinking about that day 3 email, and start thinking about how to get back on Facebook with them. Because if you get them there, then all of a sudden you can stay top of mind for that hour a day that they're staying in their newsfeed.
Before we get, I know I got a lot of questions today, or at least comments. There was one lady who we were messaging through Facebook, and some people, she was doing something like send out cards, which is like an automated one. That is anybody else using that and had any good response? Instead of handwriting the cards, there's like one that looks like a handwritten card that you pay. It's like $2.85 or less than $3 per card that goes out. Is anybody using that at all?
Send out cards. I don't think so. You know what I really liked? There was a couple of masterminds ago. If you guys remember, George was on it, and he had a really cool black thank you card.
Yeah, I'm using the one that Donna uses, which is like the hello or the thank you that I got from Amazon that I'm handwriting them. There's one, somebody, and I don't remember the lady's name, Valerie or Veronica. I got to check through the Facebook on our street text one. And it was like an essay, like send out card. And I found one. It's like one that you can automatic. I didn't do it yet because it was a lot less expensive to handwrite a card than it was to send out one of these, digital. I think it sends a real little thank you card to their email, to their mailbox, and then it's just, since my handwriting's so bad, like a doctor's handwriting, I was thinking to do that and see if it gets and it's a little bit easier maybe to just send that information than going back and actually handwriting.
I think this was address only. This, I remember Donna was using this. So it was a kind of the similar type of language.
Well, she's doing both. She's sending out like a letter, like here's your home valuation letter. And then she's also sends out a thank you card, which I did. I'm not sending out that letter. I'm just sending out a card and, hey, I got you, a Facebook request, but it was only your address. If you're still interested in your home valuation, please send me a text or whatever I put in that card, to send me your email. Basically.
Here's the thing. If you use this home valuation template and you stuff the envelope and you put the postage stamp in and you send it in the mail, when we're all checking our mailboxes, we're like, I know I do it. I just basically look at the ones that I'm going to toss in the recycling bin, and then I keep the ones that have the stamp on it, and I'm going to open them. If you get the attention enough to open it and it addresses their home value and they get this with a little picture of you, try to figure out how to cleverly call them to some sort of action that would connect back with you. But if you give this in conjunction with what you're doing with the video, it's, in conjunction with checking in again, maybe a week later somehow, or that 10-day, hey, I know you, like, this is where the 10-day email that you could go and design, it could be shifted and be like, hey, so I definitely sent you something in the mail. I've definitely got you something in the autoresponder or whatever. Like, if you figure out what that first few day process is, and then you use your 10-day to kind of re-communicate what you've already done, that might be a great opportunity for you to try to connect with them now back on Facebook and say, hey, I'd love to get you on a group in Facebook where I can give you updated information on what's happening in the market. At this point, if you'd like that, simply just send me a message right here. I can get you into the group, and you can have, I don't know. I'm just kind of giving you guys outside the box ideas where you can get it back to Facebook using that process period.
Yeah, I feel like the little card that you send in the mail is probably going to get a better open rate, not a throwaway, because it looks like a little hand-addressed envelope. It's small, and when then you got their little stamp. Sometimes just like even though I'm a real estate broker for years, but you get all that marketing from everybody in the mail, and it's coming in like a regular size envelope. I feel like people toss it. I might maybe 80% toss it, 20% keep it. I don't know what that is, but sometimes
they won't toss a postage stamp and a handwritten name.
Yeah,
they'll toss something that looks like it's generic.
Generic, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you have like if you want something open, you have to write their name and address, postage stamp with any ink. No one's gonna toss that because that looks like it's
authentic and one-to-one, right?
Yeah, it's like, who's this from? Interesting, right? So yeah, just a thought.
One last one I put in there. If you've never done it, I don't know how many people do texting Thursday. So if you want to turn around and do a follow-up on everything you sent from the week before, I copy and put so much stuff in my notes in my phone that all I got to do is copy it. Then you go in there and look through everything that you sent out the week before, and you can just send a quick text out to people, saying, hey, just want to make sure you got what I sent you last week, da-da-da-da, because we know that text will be responded to much quicker than an email. Yeah. And if you're just keeping it simple, it's a yes/no question you want to give them. And then depending on how the conversation goes, move on from there. If they say yes, say, okay, that great. Did you have any questions or anything that, you might have for me? But it gets the conversation going, and texts are free. So if you're actually mailing out and you do like a texting Thursday to these guys, it's just short and sweet. Make it a yes, no, whatever it is you're asking them, because this way you get them to respond. And at that point, like I say, it's all about engagement, because that was my biggest thing with Julie. When Julie kicks off, from the minute they respond, like, just curious, you're just looking, there's a big fall off because they don't open email as quick as they do the text. So if you get the text out there, then you're able to do this. Even my automated texts that go out, if they respond to it, it comes straight to an app on my phone. So I pick it up from there and get back to them. So it's a live voice. But I would strongly recommend using a text to get it out there. Do it on a Thursday, or so that going into the weekend, if there's something going on, you might be able to build an appointment or build something for them.
That makes sense. That makes good sense. Thanks for that, Leon. That's good.
I was just having a thought about about conversion for the address only. I'm thinking if we create that letter that says, hey, here's all this cool information, and set up do a quick broad spectrum price estimate and link it to a text code. Text this code for your evaluation is created and waiting for you. Put that in the letter. Now if they want to know what the price is, they'll text it to you. Now you've got a phone number to go with the address. You're a step ahead.
I like that.
I like that too. Let's get on it. Let's figure out how to do it, and let's let you be the testimony that makes sure that works.
I'll be trying it today. I got 3 addresses last night, so.
Perfect.
Well, you see some of that stuff, Marcus. We have on signs down here where it'll say text and you put a code to.
We used to be that. That's how we got started. Street Text was technical sign writers.
Yeah. So that.
You don't still have it, do you?
Blowing the dust off.
Well, hey, let me think about that. Let me put my mind on this. This is a good idea. Awesome, guys. Have a great day. Good stuff today.